So I can only describe Kaiju number 8, chapter 68 in one way. What the f? So this chapter was so dense and had so much information that instead of doing our normal chapter reviews and just going from start to finish of a chapter, we're gonna bounce around a lot in this video. I wanna talk about specific subjects at a time and finish our thoughts on them instead of coming back to them at other times. With that said, let's go ahead and start off with number 9 and Isao, dog. Oh my. So the chapter starts off with Isao inside of number 9 still after he got absorbed. We're seeing Isao's body, but it's not really his body. This is more so his consciousness that we're seeing. And we're seeing his consciousness inside of number 9 saying, I've been fighting back from the inside since I basically got absorbed, but it looks like that's not gonna work anymore. And right after that, you see that menacing shot of number 9 looking swole, dog. Complete Chad now. 9 went from a frail ass boy to a Chad. But more or less, Isao says, there's no time. They're continuing to grow and develop in a way that I could have never imagined. So he's basically talking about all those kaiju and daikaiju that number 9 has created and just been watching blossom this whole time. And we're gonna get into that later in the chapter. I really wanna focus on Isao right now in number 9. Now, it's interesting that Isao said that he's been fighting back since the beginning of whenever he got absorbed. This honestly helps us basically understand a lot more why 9 had to run away right as soon as he got done absorbing Isao during that raid that 9 led against the base, right? Because whenever 9 first absorbed Isao, remember we saw 9 say, wow, like for some reason I can't really control my body right now. I don't know what's going on. Well, it makes sense. Right as soon as Isao got absorbed, even if he wasn't able to physically fight back, he was using his consciousness in whatever ways that he can use while absorbed by 9 to fight back. So that is why number 9 had to basically self-destruct to get away from Kafka and General Narumi whenever they were pressing him after he absorbed Isao. So that made this make a lot more sense, but boy, did 9 look intimidating, dog. I am scared to see 9, bro. I am really scared to see 9 right now. Because when 9 pulls back up, let's go on. And then at the end of the chapter, we see Isao again saying that his consciousness is fading and all he can do now is just depend on the rest of the defense force. And as his consciousness is fading, he thinks of Narumi, he thinks of Mina Ashiro, thinks of all the rest of the young soldiers, he thinks of Kafka, and obviously he thinks about his daughter, Kikoru. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. General Isao has probably passed away, bro. Like that. General Isao's probably gone, bro. That hurts to say. Like Isao's probably gone, B. And the other reason that I really got goosebumps at this part is because as Isao is really fading to his last breaths and thinking the future of this nation is in your hands, the only person that he sees whenever he says that is Kikoru. And right after that, we see Kikoru standing right in front of the number 4 Valkyrie suit. Well, whenever Ogata told Reno, hey, the future of the nation is in your hands, that's whenever we finally saw that Reno also got to accept the number 6 suit. So you kind of see those similarities there where whenever one generation is kind of going away, they're kind of welcoming in this next generation and also showing like, these are some of the strongest people in this generation, and that's why the future is in people's hands like Reno, Kikoru, Kafka. So that was an awesome comparison to see, and even more awesome to see that Kikoru is going to get to use the number 4 suit. It'll be crazy to see this training, and I can't wait to see the determination that Kikoru has when using this suit. Whenever she touched that freaking like glass after looking at the suit and said, Mom, give me strength so that I can go avenge Dad. That had me hyped. Now, the next thing that we're gonna talk about is the emergence of all these kaiju. These kaiju are going to be terrifying, and this is just the beginning of the war that Kaiju number 9 is waging against humanity. We already know that all of these are gonna be terrifying because even General Isao's consciousness last said, I never even imagined that these kaiju would turn into what they are now. So if he's saying that, that means that all of these are probably at least Hanju level or above. I'm willing to bet that most of the ones that we saw this chapter are gonna be Daikaiju level. Let's go ahead and talk about the ones that we saw. We saw that glowing white kaiju that was in the forest. After that, we saw the like 3-headed kaiju figure that was floating above the train tracks that just disappeared after it floated there for a second. Next, we saw that humanoid kaiju abruptly appear in the Shibuya ward, and it just kind of went around and surveyed the area for a few minutes and then disappeared. After that, we saw a fish-type kaiju that was basically sucking up all the fish that were inside the sea and spitting them out. It was quite literally raining fish at one point. Next, we see a kaiju that honestly, I don't know why, but I imagine him kind of looking like Groot, and he was sprinting down the highway for 12 kilometers and racing against cars that were on the highway. And finally, we didn't get to see the last Daikaiju or kaiju, but what we did see is that there have been holes that have been appearing inside of oil canisters, as well as mysterious craters that were created on these mountains that hikers could see. They think that things like meteorites create these kind of craters. So that means that something with the same punching forces like Kaiju number 10 was hitting this mountain, because remember, even Hoshina described Kaiju number 10's punches as meteorite powered. So, bro, we got some crazy news about all these kaiju, and the weirdest part to me is that none of these kaiju came and attacked anything. They didn't come in, or I guess it might have like put craters in the mountain, but no people were injured in these incidents from what we have heard. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and honestly, that makes me even more scared, because number 9 is somebody that, like we've said before, he's cool, calm, and collected. So he has a plan right now. So if he told them don't attack anything yet, I just want y'all to go check it out, see what it's like, yada yada yada, whoop-de-whoop, like, what's really gonna happen whenever these kaiju pull up to attack? And the fact that these kaiju also all pulled up before the defense force got there and then left before they could get there, I don't know, man. If they really wanted to stay and fight, they would have stayed to fight. So that means that they're planning something, and what is that going to be, and what plot twist is that going to bring about? And the last thing that we're going to talk about is just all the lore that happened whenever the Japan Defense Force had their meeting. Now, I do not want you to brush over the fact that the Defense Force has already noticed that number 9 is producing kaiju at a much faster rate than what number 10 said that he could. This does not need to be brushed over. I think that is early signs that 10 is already lying to us about number 9. He is not telling us the full story, and we cannot trust 10 fully yet. I know that Hoshina is probably going to get to use a weaponized 10, but I do not trust Kaiju number 10, and that right there is something that is going to come back and bite us, I'm telling you. Not only that, but while we're kind of going through this meeting, Hoshina says that they have considered trying to reach out for foreign aid regarding this matter because of everything that 9 is bringing about in this crazy cataclysm that's gonna come with him. But because of like political matters and other things of that nature, and being scared of information being leaked or whatnot, they're not going to reach out for foreign aid because it would be too hard to basically have two political parties trying to figure out what to do for this kaiju matter, right? What's best for our country isn't necessarily what's best for another country type of thing. But we do figure out that suits 3, 5, and 7, which we've been kind of wondering about for a long time, there's multiple people in the Japan Defense Force that are compatible to use those suits. So right now they're basically trying to decide whether or not to move all those suits to one area, the Kanto region, which is interesting. The last time that we heard about the Kanto region was whenever Hoshina was telling Kafka about that kaiju, that Daikaiju from 1657 that destroyed the whole area. Random, but basically they're trying to decide whether to disperse those 3 suits across Japan as a whole or really just hone all those suits to one area. Knowing what we already know about 9, I would say, bro, disperse those out. Do not leave them in one spot, because if 9 has access to multiple Daikaiju suits at a time, that is terrifying for us, you feel me? Like, do not give any more fuel to the fire type of thing. But yeah, outside of that, we also learned that General Narumi is going to get to use a fully weaponized suit version of Kaiju number 1, not just the eyes that he gets to use, so it'll be crazy to see what this full suit does for General Narumi. And yeah, other than that, the chapter leaves off kind of somber, man. Like I said, Isao ends up passing away, and we also basically learned that the Japan Defense Force says, yeah, we could concentrate our whole entirety of our anti-kaiju defense force, but if the threats that come about are the same level as the one that beat General Isao, bro, it still won't be enough. Like, we don't have enough to counter what Kaiju number 9 was. And if Kaiju number 9 is making anything the same strength levels as itself or stronger, even the Japan Defense Force right now is like, bro, we're sitting on our thumbs. Like, we just have to wait and watch what happens. We quite literally have nothing. Like we have no idea. Like right now, times are scary because we are in the utmost uncertainty. Kaiju number 9 knows exactly what he wants to do. Probably has all his next steps figured out, and we're just basically sitting here twiddling our thumbs, saying like, "All right, like you basically showed us all these kaiju and they look pretty strong, and we saw you beat General Isao and you're pretty strong, so we're gonna try to get strong too." I don't know, bro. I'm getting kind of scared after this chapter. Sucks that we're going on a 1-month hiatus, but bro, we got some crazy news today. We got a Kaiju number 8 anime coming along the way. Let's go! And on top of that, man, we just got a dope chapter. This was one of my favorite chapters that I've read in a while, man. It just kind of builds that hype factor again. I think that a lot of people do love Kaiju number 8 for that hype factor, and a chapter like this just brings it all about. So, nah, man, let me know what y'all thought down below. Which was your favorite kaiju that you saw, the new ones that just emerged? I know everybody on the channel loves different kaiju designs, so did this kind of take some of y'all's top spots for a favorite kaiju design? Of the kaiju that I saw, the one that I really liked the most was the one that was floating and appeared in the Shibuya Award. If you're still watching at the end of this video, I'm putting my meat on the table, all right? I'm gonna throw up the kaiju that was in the Shibuya Award right here. I want you to know right now, I think that Kikoru will be the one to fight this kaiju and defeat it. The reason that I think that, dang, my finger was up for a really long time, bro. But the reason that I think that is because I put a picture of Kikoru right here. She was standing in this exact same place in the Shibuya Award, basically posing, and now this kaiju is there posing just like she was. So just me taking a little guess. Maybe it's a nice little catch. Let me know if you think it's a good catch. But yeah, man. This video is a little bit longer than my normal chapter reviews, but we had a lot of information to cover. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Arigato mas. And this is a double upload, bro. Y'all better appreciate this. Peace. Bro, I could go on Broadway.